issue today. But at this point, the county attorney's office has not yet filed charges against you.
Okay.
So I will inquire of you, according to your bond, you have a Towanda address,
Yes, sir.
768 East Beaver Drive.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you expect that to change in the foreseeable future?
No.
And I'll tell you why I ask. County attorney's office may make a charging decision, file charges, and then issue a summons. The summons would be served at that address.
Okay.
That's the easy way. That way you just get another court date and time and you come back.
Hmm.
They can't get you served with a summons. An active arrest warrant will issue and you'll be arrested again.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to make sure they had a good address for you.
Yeah, no, that's for the foreseeable future for sure.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and release you without court appearance requirement at this time, Mr. Skilling. I'm sure
Okay.
you'll be advised by summons if they decide to charge you and when you need to come back to court. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Any questions?
Nope. I don't
Alright.
believe so.
Ms. Norris, anything further regarding Brandon Skilling?
Thank you.
All right. If there's nothing further at this time, the Skilling matter will be in recess and he can leave at this point. Ms. Norris, were you aware of any other matters that were to be addressed as part of this docket?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you for your appearance here today. If there's nothing further, this will conclude the first appearance docket of Butler County, and this meeting may be ended for all at this time.
Lakeview versus Valerie Burns, case number 24C6926.
Owen Geisler on behalf of the plaintiff.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. And to know that you're being able to get your son back in your care and custody is so awesome and amazing to hear, Mr. Boatman. It so
Thank you.
truly is. How many days have you been sober, or how long have you been sober?
Well, I was arrested June. It was July 15th of 2022. I was arrested, so almost 3 years now.
You have remained sober this entire time.
Yeah,
I am so proud of you. I am so gosh darn proud of you, Mr. Boatman.
thank you.
Okay, so now with regards to paying off your fines and fees, because I want to make sure that they get paid off and that you're able to discharge out of probation. And it sounds like you're doing leaps and bounds of what you need to do, and you're going above and beyond. So if DOC recommends, or they agree with, and they think that you should discharge early, it sounds like I have no reason to even oppose that. So I want to make sure that you have your fines and fees taken care of, and that we get a plan, and that you're going to pay it. Okay. So
Okay.
would you be able to pay $150 a month? Is that doable?
Yep.
All right. So $150 a month. And Ms. Annabis, you're the one collecting, correct? DOC is collecting?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So Mr. Boatman, $150 a month, start paying to DOC and pay that down. Okay.
Would I be able to just go right up here to Brainerd, to the Crow Wing County Jail? Could I just pay it there every month? Or do you want me to send it to Wisconsin?
I don't know that answer.
If I, at the end of this, could get an updated phone number, I can text you the information and you can pay it right online.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, my phone. Do you want me to give me my phone
You
number
can
now?
give it right now. You can give the phone number.
218-457-1842.
All right. Excellent. So you both take care of that and you handle that. And I am so proud of you. I am unbelievably so proud of you, Mr. Boatman.
Thank you.
All right. You take care, and I will, hopefully I will be able to see you before you discharge, and I'll get some even more uplifting information from you.
All right, cool. And I saw
All right.
Gabe walk in.
Yep.
Thank you for everything you did for me, Gabe.
You're very welcome, Richie. It's good to see you. I'm glad things are going well.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We are adjourned.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You too. All right, Angel Morgan, you don't have Mrs. Morgan. I don't know who we have from DOC. Miss Thayer went away.
Yeah, so I was going to let the court know there was some technical issues in the jail. We couldn't hear each other. We could see
Okay.
each other, but we couldn't hear. I'm happy to run down to the jail and just go talk to her in person if the court want me to do that.
No, are you on tomorrow?
I am not, but I could be. I have pretty much nothing.
Well, we can just schedule her for tomorrow if that works for you.
Yes, I have pretty much any time before, well, pretty much any time after 10:30 and any time before 3.
After 10:30 or before 3. Wait, is it drug court tomorrow?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, oh, that went quick. Right. Oh, you have the times that just don't work for me. All the other times work just great. You said 10:30?
I may have to appear by Zoom, but yeah, I can.
Zoom is totally fine, but that's the only thing that I'm gonna be able to fit in, I think, is 10:30 or maybe 11:15.
I can do 11:15.
Okay. Yeah, I can do 11:15 if that works.
Yep.
I'll have to double you up with another status, but that should be fine. It's
That's
just one, so.
Yep.
So we'll just move Miss Thayer to 11:15 tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, so. Bless you. Okay, you must be Mr. Holt. You are Mr. Holtzcamp, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
We're at 2:00. A little early. I'm gonna call Miss Angel. We will go on the record in the matter 25 CM07, State of Wisconsin versus Angel Morgan. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Holly Rocco in person. Ms. Morgan fails to appear. This matter was set for today at 1 o'clock. It is now 1:54 and no appearance by Ms. Morgan. She does live in Duluth, Minnesota. This is a possession of THC only matter, no paraphernalia. She was served a copy of the criminal complaint. What would the state like to do with this case?
Your Honor, the state would move to amend the sole count to an ordinance, county ordinance, THC possession. The state would then move to default Ms. Morgan and ask the court to assess costs.
The court will grant that motion. I will find her in default for her failure to appear here today. I will assess $330.50. She must pay within 30 days. She must provide fingerprints within 30 days. Failure to provide both means not only will a civil judgment be entered against her for the funds, but a warrant will be entered and she could sit up to 6 months in jail. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Do we need to wait for victims for Mr. Holtzcamp? I think it's the jail though.
Right.
All right, we will go on the record in the matter 24 CM 200, State of Wisconsin versus Dylan Holtzcamp. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Holly Rocco in person. Mr. Holtzcamp appears by video conferencing in custody at Waupun Correctional Prison. We're set here today on a return on warrant, which is now quashed, and an initial appearance. This is a criminal damage to property case. Mr. Holtzcamp, it's alleging on or around October 21st, 2024, that in the Burnett County Jail, you intentionally caused physical damage to that property, a window belonging to the jail without the jail's consent. Upon conviction, you could be fined up to $10,000 or imprisoned up to 9 months of incarceration or both. There's an allegation or a claim by the jail for $1,842 of restitution. I'm not sure if you're applying for a public defender or you wish to have an attorney or you wish to try and resolve this matter yourself. At this time, the court will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. Ms. Rocco, would there be an offer for Mr. Holtzcamp to consider? He is currently incarcerated for a couple years. I can't recall the exact amount of time off the top of my head, but for some time in the prison system.
If Mr. Holtzcamp were to pay restitution, the state would recommend court costs only for a plea to the sole count.
He wouldn't probably be able to pay the restitution because again, he's in the prison system and will be for a significant amount of time. And I don't believe I don't know if he would have a source of income. Mr. Holtzcamp, would you have the ability to have someone on your behalf pay approximately $1,800 and some on your behalf?
Not right now. No, I don't really have anybody out there. I don't have any immediate family or anything. I lost them all, but if you guys want to like take some money every month, like $50 or $20 or something until I get out, and then when I get out, I can make more of a payment if that's possible.
Your Honor, in that event, I guess the state would just ask that the restitution figure be converted to a civil judgment.
All right, so, that's probably how it would go anyway, even if the court were to, even if he were to plead to the charge or be found guilty of the charge and the court puts him on probation, once he's out and released on extended supervision, he would probably try to pay it off. It would take some time. And in the end, it would be entered into a civil judgment. So that's where you're going with all of this. And this is the state, and somehow we're going to get paid. And knowing that this court does, Mr. Holtzcamp, this court does issue warrants for failing to pay court costs and fees and restitution. And this court does, Mr. Holtzcamp, have people sit for contempt for failing to pay those court costs and fees and those restitution. So what you're saying then, Ms. Rocco, is you are wishing at this time to amend to an ordinance. Is that what you said? And have him plead to that with court costs and enter a civil judgment?
Yes.
Is that something you wish to accept, Mr. Holtzcamp?
That would just be like payments when I get out.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that. And
All right.
how much will the payments, like roughly how much would the payments be when I get out?
I can only guess, Mr. Holtzcamp, but I would, because when you are released from custody, I would do what's called a financial review hearing, and I would be having a hearing with you talking about all those things. But my guess is it's probably going to be about $200 a month.
Okay, that'll be fine.
Okay, so formal motion to amend to an ordinance.
So made.
Granted. How do you wish to plead, Mr. Holtzcamp? Guilty or no contest?
Guilty.
Court will enter a plea of guilt on your behalf. I will assess $330.50 in court costs and fees. I will assess 1,000, taking a long time, open up, $1,842 in restitution for the Burnett County Jail. I will make sure that will be entered as a civil judgment against you. You're always going to owe that. And when you are released from custody, it will be approximately $200 a month repayment. You are ordered, Mr. Holtzcamp, once you are released from custody, you will have 1 week to notify the Burnett County Clerk of your new address and telephone number, okay?
Okay.
And then just let me know, and then we'll go over, because I'm going to want to know what you're doing. I'm sure I'm going to have a probation review hearing with you to see what you're doing and where you're going anyway, but I'm just letting you know that's going to be one of your responsibilities, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thank
We
you.
are adjourned.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Harrington, is Mr. Erickson in custody?
Yes, so is Christopher Merrill.
Yeah, our jail is having a hard time right now. All right, so what I'm going to do is I need to look at the calendar tomorrow to find, unless you know the time that Ms. Dollar is supposed to appear in front of Judge Tolan.
Do, just give me,
Oh, 3:15?
no?
No?
I think it's,
I only have him on at 3:15 tomorrow. Oh, wait, wrong day.
2:45.
Oh, he's not on my schedule here. It's for the. Oh, it's for a Polk County matter?
It's Brett case.
It's all our cases. Oh, I thought it. No, it's all our
24
cases.
CF 61.
Yep. She subbed me on. I thought she had Nick Davis, but maybe she didn't.
No, it's Dan Chapman.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And so she's supposed to be on tomorrow for return on warrant?
2:45 is what I've got, Judge, and I've got a notice in my file.
CCAP shows that too.
That's not on my calendar.
I'm supposed to be here, she's supposed to be here, and Judge Tolan's gonna appear by Zoom, is that what I understand?
Well, I'm hoping that's gonna work because, and I'm hoping they're gonna use the Zoom room because, and I hope they, work this out because I'm in, a family all afternoon. I need to message Mary to make sure she knows.
Mary might not be back.
No, Mary will not be here. Mary's here for a little minute of a time right now, just today, just a sliver of today. But she's not gonna be tomorrow or the next day.
Sure.
Less $1. All right, so I'm prepared to just move it. I don't really care. 24 CF 225 can be moved to 245 on Friday.
Thursday,
Thursday?
that's what I got, 23rd.
Okay. Maybe that was, oh, maybe that was my issue. No, yep, I looked at the wrong day. But I went Judge Winton. Oh, I have Judge Winton and Judge Tolan using my courtroom tomorrow afternoon. So I just have to lickety split, get through drug court so they can have my court, I guess. All right, so tomorrow at 2:45.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so what other case do you have, Mr.
I
Harrington?
have initial appearance on Christopher Merrill. That is
Oh, Mr. Erickson's right here, so we can do Mr.
Cody
Erickson.
Erickson, yeah.
All right. This is Cody Erickson. We will go on the record in the matter 25 CM05, State of Wisconsin versus Cody Erickson. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Holly Rocco in person. We have Mr. Erickson by video conferencing in custody in Burnett County Jail. We have Eugene Harrington in person. We're set today in this matter for an initial appearance. Mr. Harrington, were you able to go over the criminal complaint with Mr. Erickson?
I did. He understands the maximum penalties. He understands the charges. He waives reading, not guilty plea as to all, request to be heard on bail.
Not guilty pleas will be entered on his behalf. He is entitled to a jury trial, would be entitled to a speedy trial should he request one. I need victims' rights compliance. Victims did ask, I believe at the beginning for a 72-hour no contact or to have no contact with Mr. Erickson. I don't have victims present, so I need to schedule it for another date and time. You can make argument, but I can't make a decision until 5 days later.
I can tell you what the victim said. I
Unless victim
spoke to
says,
her.
yes.
Victim does not want contact with him, does not want him back home. I
Judge,
spoke with her this morning and she told me that,
Ms. Hess,
yes, and you know the bond conditions. The victim told me he's been contacting every day and you know that.
I know that.
I don't know anything, but now I do. January 29th, I can have a bond modification hearing if you would like to. Victims can be notified and victims can provide impact statements if they wish.
What time, Judge?
My only availability would be right in the morning because I'm out of county in Polk from 11 on. So I could do 9:45. Otherwise, my next available time wouldn't be until February 3rd. I think you're coming back February 3rd in the afternoon, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yes, at 1:30. Could we be more definitive and just schedule for February 3rd?
We sure can, February 3rd. What time? You're coming back at 1:30?
1:30, status on Stramer.
So just put 1:30, February 3rd. All right, we will see you February 3rd at 1:30. We are adjourned. that your last one, Mr. Harrington?
No, I have, Christopher Merrill.
Oh, yeah, he's in jail. Oh, I have another jail trying to come in, so that would not be. I'm coming to that jail. Mr. Rosenthal, Jacqueline Duncan. I don't know, let's see if we get the jail first and I'll see if I can do Mr. Merrill, but for some reason, we've been having issue with the jail popping. I see Burnett County Jail, but I'm not seeing them showing themselves, and I'm hitting to please start. Doesn't necessarily look like Mr. Merrill.
That's
Nope.
not Mr. Merrill.
It's not Mr. Merrill, so you gotta take a seat behind, Mr. Harrington. I'm gonna do Miss Duncan first. I'm gonna guess that is Miss Blomberg, but that's just my guess. We will go on the record in the matter 25 CF 12, State of Wisconsin versus Jacqueline Duncan. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Holly Rocco in person. Ms. Duncan appears in person with counsel Joseph Rosenthal by video conferencing. We're set today in this matter for an initial appearance. Mr. Rosenthal, were you able to go over the criminal complaint with Ms. Duncan?
I was, Your Honor. We acknowledge receipt, waive any further reading. She does understand the charges and the maximum potential penalties. We'd enter a not guilty pleas to misdemeanor counts. We would request a prelim on the felony counts, but the out of custody status should be willing to waive time limits on that.
Not guilty pleas will be entered on your behalf as to the misdemeanors. Let's make sure that you're still in Cedar Street West. Telephone ends in 2717.
Yes.
And are you receiving text messages?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get a prelim date.
That wasn't waived.
Time limits were waived. Yes. February 13th at 2:30 in front of Commissioner.
I think I'm gonna have a 245 chips case in Burnett, Your Honor, on the
You
13th.
have what?
245 chips case in Burnett on the 13th, I believe.
Oh, you'll be fine. If you do the 2:30, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
If you're in
Okay.
front of me with chips, I'll wait.
Yeah. Okay, that works.
All right, 2:30, February 13th, 2:30, February 13th, okay? Come get your notice and you're free to go. Miss Blomberg, have you applied for a public defender? I can't hear you. You need to hit the audio. Mr. Pollock, do you know if she did apply? Tammy Blomberg. Can you hear me now? Or can I hear you, Miss Blomberg? Yeah, I wish there was a hit audio button, but I only have the hit video button. Zoom should invent that. Well, while we wait, Mr. Merrill,
Yes.
we will call your cases. We will go on the record in the matters 24 CM 108, 25 CF 14, State of Wisconsin versus Christopher Merrill. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Holly Rocco in person. Mr. Merrill appears by video conferencing in custody in Burnett County Jail. We have Eugene Harrington, Defense Counsel in person. Mr. Harrington, were you able to go over the criminal complaint in 25 CF 14 with Mr. Merrill?
I went over counts 12, 13, 14, 15.
Does he
Those
have-
are the ones that relate to the defendant Merrill.
And he understands them and the maximum penalties?
He does, Judge.
Waive
Waive
formal-
reading,
Okay, not guilty pleas as to the misdemeanors?
yes, Judge.
Does he wish to have his prelim within time limits?
He's on a probation hold, so I don't think it matters. I think we just scheduled the preliminary exam. Last case that was here, February 13th. This is she's one of the co-defendants on this complaint.
That would not be able to happen because that's in front of commissioner and he's in custody, so I will not have him go down to that room. He must be with me. So I can do his on that February 3rd when you're going to be here. So we can do February 3rd at 1:45.
That'll work.
I do appreciate efficiency and having it jointly when we can and if we can, but in this particular situation, we cannot.
There, I should be able to hear you now.
Okay.
Excellent, thank you. All right, February 3rd at 1:45, we'll have your preliminary hearing, okay?
Are you
Thank you. Do you know when he's released from his probation hold?
He's being held on revocation.
Oh, held in.
We have to go through the process there. And we don't even know the file there yet.
Okay, thank you.
All right, hey,
Okay,
you come to see me, right?
I am.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Blomberg, have you applied for a public defender?
I have not.
Do you wish to apply for a public defender?
Yes, I would like to go through that process. I just don't know
All
how
right.
to do it.
So, well, I have this gentleman here. He is the director. He's the head of, he runs the whole public defender's office in Spooner. And he is our guy and he is here. And so what's going to happen is he's going to go log into Zoom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you into a confidential breakout room with him. So he's going to go over an application to see if you qualify for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
And then once you're done there, we'll see where we're going to go. Okay.
okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Oyat, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. For some reason, the one jail Zoom is having issues, but this jail Zoom is not having issues. So I'm glad to hear that. Okay. As soon as I get Mr. Pollock, I will send you guys into that Zoom room. Okay. Then Mr. Oyat, I will call your case. We will go on the record in the matter 25 CF08, State of Wisconsin versus Jonathan Oyat. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Kevin Schmidt, Holly Rocco in person. We have Jonathan Oyat, who's appearing by video conferencing in custody in Burnett County Jail. We have his counsel, Joseph Rosenthal, by video. We're set today in this matter for an initial appearance. Mr. Rosenthal, were you able to go over the criminal complaint with Mr. Oyat?
I was, Your Honor. We did have a Zoom meeting earlier. We did review the complaint, the charges, and the maximum potential penalties. We will waive any further reading, enter a plea of not guilty to count 2. I also advised him of his right to have a contested prelim as to count 1 and the burden the state would have to meet, and he is willing to waive his right to a contested prelim today.
All right, thank you. Mr. Oyat, you understand what a preliminary hearing is? That is, the burden is on the state to prove a felony was probably committed, and it was probably committed by you in Burnett County?
Yes.
And do you understand that by waiving your right to a preliminary hearing, you are agreeing that the state can meet that burden?
Yes.
You understand at a preliminary hearing, your attorney would have the right to ask questions of the state's witnesses or call witnesses to testify for you. He would have
Yes.
the right to produce evidence on your behalf or possibly discover things about the case, which could include defenses, but you're giving up those rights today?
Yes.
You understand at a preliminary hearing, if the state does not meet its burden as to that felony, I could reduce it to a misdemeanor or dismiss it altogether, but you're giving up that right today?
Yes.
You understand that as a result of waiving your right to a preliminary hearing, this matter will be bound over to future proceedings, which could include a trial?
Yes.
You understand that once you give up the right, it is forever and you cannot get it back?
Yes.
Has anyone made any threats or any promises to you for you to waive your right to a preliminary hearing?
No.
You're doing so freely and intelligently, telling the court you fully understand what you're doing here today
Yes.
and voluntarily?
Yes.
I will find you are competent, you're freely, intelligently, and voluntarily waiving your right to a preliminary hearing. I will find probable cause and I will bind the matter over. Information. Ms. Rocco.
Your Honor, the information will mirror the criminal complaint.
Proceed with the next stage. Sorry, I'm trying to create a room while I'm doing. Would you like to proceed with an arraignment or set for another date, Mr. Rosenthal?
We can proceed, Judge. We acknowledge receipt of the information, waive any further reading, enter a plea of not guilty to count one.
All right. Not guilty plea will be entered on your behalf as to all matters. You are entitled to a jury trial, would be entitled to a speedy trial, should you request one. Mr. Oyat, are you currently on a hold? Are you on probation hold or an ES hold?
ES hold.
And do you know how long it's gonna be?
They said, I just got a notification from Harley that April 3rd, I think, is my sanction is up.
April 3rd is your sanction. Okay. Okay, and so you're not looking at being sent back to prison or anything like that?
No.
All right. Okay, so let's get another date and time. Mr. Rosenthal.
And Judge, if we
March.
could, if we could come back before that April 3rd date, there's some things going on behind the scenes. I want to talk to probation.
Well, April 3rd would be a way too long for me to push
Yeah.
something out. You know
I
that.
agree. Yeah, I certainly agree with that.
March 3rd at 10, March 3rd at 10, your status block date.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank
We
you,
will
Joe.
see you then, March 3rd at 10.
Okay, Joe?
Yeah.
I talked to Todd and Todd said you have to reach out to him.
Okay. Yeah. Let
Okay.
me call your agent and let me call Todd and I'll set up another Zoom with you.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Pollock, I sent to a different one because Burnett County Jail and Burnett County Zoom, they all look the same. So I have to go to this one and this one. Now it should be the right one. And then somehow Zoom updated, so it put my closing room to 2 minutes and to redo that. Stop updating Zoom, stop updating. Good. We're all good with the updates. Aren't we, Ms. Smallsome? We're all good with all the updates. We don't need any more. Yeah, Miss Blomberg, there should be a button that you hit. There should be, you should hit some button and it'll send you to a room.
So are we done, Your Honor?
Yep, we're done, Mr. Oyat.
Okay.
Thank you. Now I have to remember Zoom settings. I have to change my closing back to 10 seconds because reset, now it closes at 2 minutes. All right, so Mr. Lindis, are you gonna apply for a public defender?
Yeah.
So you wanna wait for Mr. Pollock?
Yeah, I just did an application with them.
Did he, and I'm gonna presume you qualify?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so we'll just wait on that. Ms. Malsom, we're just gonna take a brief little break. You can have a little break and then we'll be back in, let's say, is 5 minutes good for you?
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
He had, I'm sorry, January,
What?
Ms.
Coy, I believe she indicated that
he,
dollar amount, the bond was set just yesterday or a few days ago.
it was set on June 14th when he failed to appear. Then he was arraigned on the bench warrant and the cash bond was continued. That is how I see it. But he
Correct.
originally was out on a personal and failed to appear. So he was given a personal.
I just don't.
Or he wasn't at the time of the new offense on a personal bond?
Correct.
Okay, all right, I'm trying to understand as well.
Yeah.
However, based upon the fact that it is the same complainant, the same offense, I'm certain if it was the same location, I don't have the other file before me, and it appears that Mr. Walton presents a danger to the complainant and the community. I am still going to adopt the bond of 10% that was requested based upon a clear and convincing evidence standard.
Thank you.
Okay, is that bond unaffordable?
It is, and my next question is there any way it can be set for tomorrow, since he already has a redetermination hearing tomorrow, so they could both be done on the same day?
People have no objection to that, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll check with our clerk. Hold on a moment.
Ms. Lisa.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Okay, within a bond redetermination hearing will be scheduled for January the 23rd at
9 o'clock.
at 9 o'clock for Judge McConical
Judge Williams.
or Judge Williams.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
Thank you.
Mr. Walton, do you have anything further, sir? Any particular questions only about your bond or your bond conditions? Or your court date and your bond conditions?
No, I mean, but I already have a firearm that I already purchased.
Okay, sir, no, I don't want you to talk about the case. I don't want you to talk about the case. I want to understand the bond conditions that have been set forth by the court.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and you know,
She dropped them. The case.
Magistrate Burton is asking you, do you understand the bond conditions?
Yes.
And you understand the court date?
Yes.
That's all we need to know. Thank you, sir.
anything further from either prosecutor or the defense?
Nothing further, thank you.
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. DDC. Yeah. Remember, we need to finish this up. DDC, can you bring Mr. Colado, Darwin Jose Colado Brasamente o Brasamente?
Darwin Jose Colado Camonte.
You don't need a breakout room.
Oh, he's not been interviewed?
No, so can we pull in camera 3 or 4?
Okay. All right, Counselor Reagan, so I see you on camera. Can you go into camera 3 with this gentleman? And do you need the interpreter?
You gotta pull up camera 3, Your Honor, so that you can put me in with the interpreter, please. Thank you.
All right, I'll pull up camera 3.
Thank you so much.
And you need the interpreter, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, DDC. Can you put this gentleman in front of camera 3? I'm gonna put him with the defense counsel and the interpreter. Miss Vivian, raise your right hand. you solemnly swear from tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, as well, do you solemnly swear translate English, Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
I do.
Please say your full name for the record.
Vivian Montero, certified court interpreter, 18369.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with the defendant and an attorney.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So that one is going to, all right. DDC, stand by for a moment. Okay. And Mr. Bohanna. Sir, give me your full name. Chauncey Larry Bohanna. All right, Mr. Bohanna, not only are you here on a criminal matter, but misdemeanor matters where you did not show up for court. Court is going to enter a plea of not guilty. We're going to recall the warrants. You're going to get a personal bond on misdemeanor matters. Maximum penalty on each misdemeanor. It's up to 93 days jail and or $500 fine. So far, do you understand everything that I've said?
Yeah.
Oh, is that a yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Your case number, ticket number is P1480678. Count 1, driver's license never acquired. Count 2 is driving under a untitled vehicle. Count 3 is no insurance misdemeanor. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. Court date is February 19th, 2025. Pre-trial in front of Judge Yancey. Mr. Bohanna, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say, orally or writing, can be used against you in the court of law. Right to an attorney. Have that attorney present during questioning. If you're unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, court expense. Understand those rights?
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Yes.
Thank you. Now let's go for the criminal matter. Case number is 240-4467101. Please say your full name again.
Chauncey Bohanna.
Full name?
Chauncey Larry Bohanna.
Thank you. You have an attorney to your right. Go ahead, counsel.
Justice Shaz, on behalf of Mr. Bohanna, who is formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, stands guilty and is here.
Thank you. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. Court date is February 4th, 2025. Pre-trial in front of Judge Bryant. Understand that court date?
Yes.
Now, let me say, bond conditions, no drinking of any alcoholic beverages, and there is no driving without a valid license. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Counsel Coyle, are you here on this case?
I am, Your Honor. Lisa Coyle, appearing on behalf of the people. Your Honor, this occurred back in August of 23. I note that Mr. Bohanna is 18 years old. He should not be drinking liquor. There is no capious history on this. It wasn't signed until April 24. I don't see a criminal history from him. Even after this occurred, he did blow 2 13s. And so the people in this matter are asking for $20,000 personal, no alcohol, and driving only with a valid driver's license.
Okay. Counsel Shive, any objection?
No objection to any of that. His mother is here in support, and he walked in on this matter, turned himself in after he came yesterday to try to take care of his license ticket and found out about this.
Okay. All right. This court is going to adopt the recommendation, $20,000 personal bond. And mom is in the back. So, yes. No, there's no drinking on any alcoholic beverages. There's no driving. So even if say, hey, mom, let me just move the car from in front of the house to the driveway. No, you understand that?
Yes.
Pardon me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So bond, $20,000 personal bond. All you have to do, sir, take a seat, sit by your mom so you can get your paperwork later. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Gentlemen at DDC, what's your name?
Oh, Sean Rivers. Sorry.
Calling case number 25-0553-8901 People of the State of Michigan versus Sean Maurice Rivers, also known as Sean Maurice, M-A-R-I-C-E, Rivers, and Sean Marique, M-A-R-I-C-U-E, Rivers, as well as Sean Rivers. Appearances, please.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Justice Shah, on behalf of Mr. Rivers, who is formal reading, understands his constitutional rights and stands here.
The court will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Rivers' behalf. Mr. Rivers, you have 2 court dates. You're scheduled for a probable cause conference on January the 29th, 2005 at 8:30. That will be virtual before Judge Sean Jacquet. Then you're entitled to a preliminary examination. That is scheduled for February the 5th, 2025 at 8:30. That will be in person. Do you understand those court dates, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as it relates to bond.
Your Honor, on Mr. Rivers, the people would not object to a 75,000 personal bond. However, we would want there to be tethered with a curfew to allow for work if Mr. Rivers is currently working. Your Honor, as far as his history goes, he had a 2010 receiving concealing stolen property motor vehicle juvenile adjudication, in 2011 receiving concealing stolen property motor vehicle juvenile adjudication, and then he had 2 HIDA cases in 2014, one for receiving concealing stolen property 1,000 to 20,000, and then receiving concealing stolen property motor. Those HIDA cases he was able to successfully complete. Here we have allegations of him forcing his way into his father's house and tussling with his father, Your Honor. So we do have some concerns for the safety of the complaining witness. We believe that if there's tether and a curfew, that could ensure the safety of the witness. And if that was in place, we wouldn't object to a personal bond.
Ms. Shahab, your position?
So, Your Honor, he's not on probation or parole or anything pending, and we just heard the people talk about his priors, someone who's juvenile, and the other he had HIDA, and none of them were assaulted. So he has no assaultive criminal history whatsoever. He also successfully completed HIDA, so he listens to court orders and shows up to court and does what he needs to do. I also don't have any habeas history, so I don't believe he's at flight risk. He's 29 years old. He's a lifelong resident of Michigan. He has 5 kids. The complaining witness is his father. As we can see in the report, I know that, you know, the court doesn't have anything to do with how the prosecutor charges, but I feel like home invasion is a stretch here. This is his father's house. He was talking to him. He went inside and they charged him with home invasion. I don't see him telling him, you know, I don't want you here. You can't get in here. Allegedly, he just told him he didn't want to speak to him. But we weren't there, Your Honor. These are allegations. It looks like the complaining witness pushed him back according to the report. So I don't know what happened between father and son. I don't see any combative behavior with the police. I don't see any medical treatment needed by anybody. So I'm respectfully asking the court to consider that personal bond without a tether. I don't believe the tether is necessary. It's going to hold him up for a few days before he can get it. He's employed and he understands no contact. He did provide a address that, well, he doesn't even live with him, so he does have a separate address that there's no issue with no contact whatsoever.
And Ms. Shahab, you've indicated that he's working. Where's your client employed?
He does home improvement.
So no set hours as it relates to work schedule?
I could ask him if the court would allow me to.
Does he work for a company or independent?
Okay, I can answer. So Mr. Rivers, only answer what I'm asking, okay? This is all part of the record. Anything you say can and will be used against you. This is your attorney speaking. The court is asking, you do home improvement work. Is that independent or for a company or with somebody?
Independent, reliable.
Okay, do you have set hours, specific hours, or how are your work hours?
Whenever someone calls up for a service call, I'm going with them.
Okay, thank you.
One moment. Okay, the court has heard the arguments of the parties, and based upon the prior offenses, which appear to all be non-assaultive, I am concerned, of course, about contact with the dad and what's allegedly or alleged to have occurred here. However, the court is going to set bond at $50,000 personal, not going to impose a tether. However, Mr. Rivers, you are not to have any contact with your father at this time. No contact with Sean Maurice Rivers Sr., and you're not to enter 11186 Craft Street in the city of Detroit. So you're also not to engage in any assaultive behavior.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand those bond conditions, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and again, your court dates are 1/29 for your probable cause conference and February the 5th for your preliminary examination. Both of those before Judge Sean Jacquet. You got that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything further from either the prosecution or the defense?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. So you may step aside.
Thank you all.
What's your name again, sir?
Alan Rimmel.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it clearly. Please say it again.
Harold Allen Rimmel.
Daryl Allen Rimmer, sir, this is Magistrate Echarpea. Good afternoon, sir. You're here on a criminal matter, case number 250-553-8801. You have an attorney, go ahead, counsel.
Shive, on behalf of Mr. Rimmer, who is formal reading of the constitutional rights and stands.
On entry plea of not guilty, court dates are January 29, 2025, probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, February 5th, 2025. Both matters are in front of Judge Jefferson. Okay, Mr. Rimmer, let me give you some bond conditions. One is you're not to have contact with the Stephen Lawrence. That means no person-to-person contact, no contact with third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. You're also not to possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. You understand that, Mr. Rimmer?
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on for a moment. Okay, all right. Vincent, go ahead with your recommendation, sir.
Thank you, Magistrate. Good afternoon. Steve Vincent, P 71917. We'll be asking for a $200,000 cash assurity. We're also going to be asking for monitorization, and through the pendency of the case, we'll ask for home confinement. Lead charge here being the AWIM offense date of January 11th, 2025. And allegedly here we have the defendant who shot the victim in the stomach in a residential area, and where he ended up shooting the victim here in the stomach. We're lucky we're not here for a homicide. Fortunately, at least through the present, that defendant or the complainant is still alive. This defendant was subsequently ID'd by at least one witness in this matter. He's associated with the street gang, allegedly the Rolling 20s Bloods. And we have one witness here where she ended up giving a statement that the victim was trying to de-escalate this situation between females when the defendant ended up shooting the victim in the stomach. We have another witness here who allegedly told a statement to the police that an argument ended up leading to the victim being shot by the defendant. It's on a surname. And we have the defendant alleging here that this was in self-defense. However, and ironically, there's nobody to support those allegations. So respectfully, Judge, we're going to be asking for that cash bond with monitorization. Highly dangerous, highly assaultive. We have a gunshot victim here. We have witnesses and an ID. At this time, we feel as though there's a high likelihood of conviction, and respectfully asking for that cash with monitorization.
Counsel Shive, go ahead, ma'am.
Your Honor, there is a lot going on in this report. There is a lot of people involved. There is a lot of people saying different things. There are groups of people pulling up to this location allegedly. There are females coming out of the car asking for other females. trying to fight, saying they want to fight. There are people who are trying to break up this fight. There's a lot going on. And also, Your Honor, I think one of the most important things from this report is that the complaining witness himself on page 2, and like the second sentence said, Mr. Lawrence did not witness who shot him, but he was shot a single time in the stomach. And he also says, advise me he will not go to court in huge cap, all cap letters. Now, we know that people can still proceed without the complaining witness. We understand that, but if you're shot in the stomach and you're in a hospital, I mean, I don't want to speak for a complaining witness, but you would want to go to court and I mean, you're a victim here, but yet he doesn't want to, he says, I'm not going to go to court. My client indicates this is self-defense. He also indicated, not only to us, but to the police and in the report, that a lot of people were trying to jump him, that individuals were trying to jump him. And we can see in the report that there's a lot going on here with a lot of people. We weren't there. There are people who say they witnessed things and there are people who are not. And then it goes on in the investigation to say that there are other people listed in multiple domestic reports within each other. And it's a lot. So all we have is a report here, but what we also have is that Mr. Rimmer is not on probation or parole and nothing pending. He has no felonies on his record that I'm aware of. He lives with his aunt. He's a lifelong resident of Michigan. He's 27 years old. He understands no contact, Your Honor. So I'm respectfully asking the court to consider a very high personal bond. And if the court is not inclined to do that without a GPS tether and house arrest, then we understand, although, you know, he is indicating self-defense. And I'm asking the court to consider that GPS tether and house arrest because he's unemployed. He doesn't need to leave his house for any reason. So if the court is, you know, it's safety to anyone or the public or complaining witness, I'm going to ask the court to give that personal bond with the tether at least 10%. Any bond amount is unaffordable. And the fact that he has nothing pending, no history, a lot in this report again going on, and he actually hasn't been convicted of anything. He's presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. So I'm asking the court to consider that bond, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court's heard the representations, both sides. Court uses clear and convincing evidence standard when it's entertaining monetary bond. We started off with a personal bond basis. The charges are serious enough where, at least on assault with intent to murder, the maximum penalty is life or any number of years being incarcerated. Court heard representations. Court read the allegations in the investigator's report. Court also notes that even though he doesn't have any priors, Mr. Rimmer was identified. And so there is another bond condition, and that Mr. Rimmer, you're not to have contact with any witnesses involved in this case. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With that being said, court does find Mr. Rimmer, not Rimmers, but Rimmer, a danger to the community. Okay. And the court is going to give, I believe, the bond recommendation was 200,000 cash surety, counsel. Vincent, is that correct?
Yes, Magistrate.
Okay, so the bond is going to be $200,000 cash surety. The court, and this is, as Counsel Clyde has indicated, this is unaffordable. Correct, counsel?
That's correct.
Okay, court is not going to put a GPS tether because he's going to get another court date. And that will be this Friday, which is January 24th, 2025, 9 o'clock, in front of Judge McConigal or Judge Williams, who'll look at the bond amount and bond conditions. Do you understand that, Mr. Rimmer? I'm sorry, do you understand what I just told you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this court is not the last word, so you got another court date in 2 days.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rimmer. You can step aside.
We are ready on the Spanish River case.
Okay. Hold on in a moment.
Who's got the interpreter?
What they did. I don't know why.
I looked at this, it's not. It's just regular. So it's and then. So he has, not only that, there's other places in both. So I made sure that I wrote it down. That person, any witnesses, know that, and.
Okay.
Let's deal with that, okay? 200,000 cash rate.
Alright. That's, all right. And Council Shive said that, finish with the interpreter?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's close that out. We're gonna do the next one and then we'll do the interpreter. The gentleman at DDC, what's your name?
Corey Armister.
Is it Corey's, is it Sage or Saj?
Corey Sage.
All right, Mr. Armister, this is
Señor Collado, puede decir su nombre para que conste en el acta. Darwin José Collado Brocamonte.
Sir, did you have an opportunity to talk to a defense counsel?
Señor, tuvo una oportunidad de hablar con un abogado.
Sí.
Counsel Shive, was this Counsel Reagan? Can you go check to make sure that it was completed? Stand by, madam. Interpreter.
Yes.
Okay. Madam Interpreter, the defense counsel spoke to the defendant, says that they're ready to proceed.
Okay.
All right, so, let me call the case number. Case is 250-553-9001.
Este es el caso 2505-5390-01.
Sir, please say your full name again.
Señor, diga su nombre nuevamente para que conste en el acta.
Darwin José Collado Brocamonte.
Darwin José Collado Brocamonte.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna, defense counsel.
Licenciado.
Jessica Shive, on behalf of Mr. Collado.
On enter plea of not guilty.
Licenciado, representante del señor Collado Brocamonte. Voy a sentar la contestación de no culpable.
I'm gonna enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are January 30th, 2025. Probable cause conference followed by preliminary examination, February 6th, 2025. Both matters are in front of Judge Giles.
La próxima audiencia será el 30 de enero y la audiencia después de eso sería, I'm sorry, it was February 5th.
February 6th, ma'am.
Thank you. 6 de febrero para la siguiente audiencia después.
Counsel Vince, go ahead, Esteban, please.
Adelante, licenciada, referente a la fianza.
Steve Vincent for the people, P71917.
Licenciado Stevenson para el Ministerio Público.
Respectfully, magistrate, not going to be objecting to a personal, asking for a tether.
Señora juez de control, estamos pidiendo liberarlo bajo palabra con tobillera.
We have a defendant who allegedly was trying to steal ambulances from Detroit Receiving Hospital.
Tenemos un acusado que supuestamente estaba robando ambulancias de Detroit Receiving Hospital.
We feel as though if the defendant is capable of doing something like this,
sentimos que si el acusado es capaz de hacer algo así,
he's capable of other dangerous offenses.
Es capaz de otros delitos peligrosos.
Fortunately, the kill switch prevented him from driving one of the ambulances off the property.
Por suerte, hay un switch que impidió que él se fuera en la ambulancia, fuera la propiedad.
Again, no objection to personal, but asking for monitorization through the pendency of the case.
No me opongo a liberarlo bajo palabra, pero con tobillera a lo largo del caso.
Go ahead, Counsel Shive.
For the record, Your Honor, I just have to wait formal reading and have it stand mute.
Adelante, licenciado Shive. Renunciamos la lectura formal y el acusado permanece guarda silencio.
And if we can have this file marked medical.
Y en el expediente hay una parte que dice médico.
He has a life-threatening disease that I don't want to put on the record.
Él tiene una enfermedad que amenaza la vida. No quiero decirlo en actas.
But he has not received his medication in 4 days.
No ha recibido medicamento en 4 días.
We won't object to a personal bond.
No nos oponemos a liberarlo bajo palabra.
I ask the court to not consider the tether.
Le pido al tribunal que no le impone la cordillera.
There's no habeas history.
No hay un historial de antecedentes.
And the tether's gonna hold him for a few more days.
Y ellos van a detenerlo unos días más.
If the court is not inclined to give him a personal without the tether,
Si el tribunal está inclinado a liberarlo bajo palabra, pero no sin la tobillera,
we just ask the court to make sure he gets his medication because he is life-threatening.
le pedimos al tribunal que se asegure que él recibe su medicamento porque corre peligro su vida.
Is that it, Council Shive?
¿Es todo, licenciada Shive? ¿Es cuánto?
Okay. DDC?
A la DDC.
DDC, can you respond?
Que se puede responder la DDC.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Señora,
Ma'am, can you mark this gentleman's file medical?
Señora, si puede colocar una nota en el expediente de ese señor de atención médica.
Yes, DDC?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Council Vincent?
Licenciado Vincent.
Yes,
Since
Magistrate.
there is no habeas history, can you tell me why for the GPS tether?
Ya que no hay antecedentes penales, no lo veo necesario en la tobillera.
One, we feel as though he posed a level of danger by attempting to steal an ambulance used for people who are injured or hurt or need medical assistance.
Primero, porque él intentó llevarse una ambulancia para personas que están o lesionados o que necesitan ayuda.
Second, we feel as though he's capable of dangerous things if he's willing to steal an ambulance that's supposedly supposed to be used for those types of reasons.
Y por eso nos sentimos que él es capaz de hacer otra acción peligrosa, porque ya intentó llevar una ambulancia que estaba ahí para atender personas lesionadas.
But I do concur with defense counsel. I don't have habeas history.
Pero estoy de acuerdo con la licenciada, no hay una lista de antecedentes.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Court's not going to place or impose any GPS tether.
La juez de control no va a imponer una tobillera.
Bond in this case is going to be $25,000 personal bond.
Que la fianza en este caso va a ser $25,000, pero bajo palabra.
The court doesn't see him stealing an ambulance or attempting to steal an ambulance as a danger to the community.
El tribunal determina que el intento de llevar una ambulancia no es un peligro a la comunidad.
Thank you. You can step aside.
Gracias, ya se puede retirar.
Ms. Vivian, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too. All right, let's see. We have somebody else. Who's this?
Mr. Elias Muawa. I don't know if that's still going audio. And then Elias Muawa, no audio. This
yeah,
person
not
is just
connected.
trying to zoom in right now. This didn't appear earlier. So they can't, so we're gonna put that person back into the waiting room. Don't know who that person is, and that person did not come in earlier today. When we started at 2:30, 2:35. So, DDC, who's next? Sorry.
Oh, maybe they're on the other camera?
Let's try. I thought we were on student number 4. Let's see. Ah, no, there's somebody. DDC, are we gonna still stay with camera 3? Okay, I guess we are, I guess. So what's your name?
Darnell Adams.
It's you.
Calling case number 25-0442-3301 SM. People of the state of Michigan versus Darnell Hamisi, Hamisi Adams. Also known as Darnell Hassai, Haisi Adams. Appearance, please.
Samuel A. Ragnan for the people, Your Honor.
Jessica Shive on behalf of Mr. Adams, who is formal reading understands his constitutional rights and stands mute.
The court is going to enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Adams' behalf. Mr. Adams, you have a pretrial that is scheduled for February the 4th, 2025 at 8:30. That will be before Judge Bryant by Zoom. Esteban.
People are asking for a $25,000 personal bond, Your Honor.
Is there any objection, Ms. Shive?
No objection.
Mr. Adams, the court is going to set your bond at $25,000 personal, which means you do not have to post any money. As it relates to bond conditions, sir, you are not to have any contact with Jasmine Bennett, that's Jasmin Bennett. Also, you should not, and that contact is directly or indirectly. That means you and do not have a third party to contact her either. You may not enter 10501 East Jefferson, number 236 either. Do you understand those conditions of bond, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you understand that your court date?
Yes.
Up to you.
When is it?
February 4th, 2025. That's my sister's birthday. I don't remember that.
Oh, great. Okay, so no reason you shouldn't make it, right? Okay, so you have no questions as it relates to the bond conditions, sir, or your court date? All right. And do the people have anything further?
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
How about the defense?
Nothing further, thank you.
Okay, thank you both. All right. Thank you, Mr. Adams. We're done, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, you too.
Hey, go up there, like, go up there. Just for that speech last night.
What's your name again, sir?
Deontay Nobles.
Mr. Nobles. No, that's fine. Just finish. Just give us a couple minutes.
Your Honor, this is a
Yeah.
two defendant case. Can we call them together?
I know that. I
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, so two defendants.
Okay. All right, DDC, can you bring Mr. Acevedo also?
He's still right there.
Acevedo, come on. All right, first of all, Deontay Deshaun Noble, stand up or raise your right hand. Thank you. Mr. Nobles, this is Magistrate Chatterpah. You can put your hand down, sir. Sir, you have some misdemeanor matters. These are misdemeanor matters. You did not show up for court. Court is going to recall the warrants. You're going to get a personal bond. Nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. The maximum penalty on each misdemeanor is up to 93 days jail and or $500 fine. Do you understand everything I've said so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me tell you what the misdemeanor matters are, Mr. Nobles. First one is P 1316932, driving unregistered untitled vehicle, no insurance misdemeanor. Next one is P 1442834, driving with license suspended, smoking marijuana within passenger area of a vehicle upon public highway, and loud music from a motor vehicle more than 10 feet away. Last ticket is X 4335785, no operator's license. Court is going to enter plea of not guilty. Court date is February 19, 2025, pretrial in front of Judge Millhouse. Mr. Nobles, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say, oral or writing, it can be used against you in a court of law. That's a right to an attorney. Have that attorney present during questioning. If you're unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, court expense. Understand those rights, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's see. All right, so Mr. Nobles, now let's see what I have. Okay, I have case numbers 25044232201. Mr. Nobles, you are defendant one in this case. The gentleman to your left. What's your name, sir?
Arnie Acevedo.
Armani Montrell Acevedo.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You are defendant two in this case. You both have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Jessica Shives on behalf of Mr. Noble and Mr. Acevedo, who both waive formal reading, understand their constitutional rights, and stand mute.
I'm gonna enter plea of not guilty. Court date is January 31st, 2025, pretrial in front of Judge Jones. And let's see what else we have. Both gentlemen, you're not to go back to the location 1800 Howard, which is Allied Building location. It's a business. You understand that, Mr. Nobles?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand that, Mr. Acevedo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Counsel Coyle, go ahead, Esteban, please.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people. Your Honor, I see no criminal history that I am aware of for either Mr. Nobles or Mr. Acevedo. No objection to a personal bond in this matter.
No objection.
Okay, gentlemen, both of you are gonna get a $25,000 personal bond. That means nobody has to pay any money for either of you to get out of jail. Understand that, Mr. Nobles?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand that, Mr. Acevedo?
Yes, ma'am.
Gentlemen, that concludes your arraignments. You can step aside.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a
What's your name, sir?
Johnny Wade.
All right, Mr. Wade, I'm magistrate Chuck Fair here, criminal matter, case number 250-553-9501. Sir, you have an attorney?
Jessica Shives on behalf of Mr. Wade, who waives formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and stands mute.
I'm gonna enter plea of not guilty.
Court dates are February 3rd, 2025. It is a probable cause conference followed by preliminary examination, February 10th, 2025. Both matters are in front of Judge Taylor. Mr. Wade, while this case is pending, you're not to possess any illegal controlled substances. Do you understand that, sir?
Yeah.
Counsel Douglas, go ahead, as to bond, please.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P 72748. Your Honor, no objection to 25,000 personal.
Counsel Schreiber, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Wade, you're gonna get a $25,000 personal bond. Nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. Understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. You can step aside.
Why?
That's you.
Sir, would you state your name for the record, please?
White.
Okay, calling case number 25-0553-9401 FH. People of the state of Michigan versus Jamon Tion White. Appearances, please.
Samuel A. Ragnan for the people, Your Honor.
Justice Schreiber, on behalf of Mr. White, who has formal reading and understands the constitutional rights and standards.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. White. Mr. White, you have two court dates. The first one is a probable cause conference. It is scheduled for January the 29th at 8:30. That will be before Judge Jefferson. You also have a preliminary examination that's scheduled for February the 5th, 2025 at 8:30, and that will be in person before Judge Jefferson. The first one will be by Zoom on the 29th. As it relates to bond,
Yeah, people are gonna ask for a $10,000 personal bond. Mr. White came upon a van that had the engine running and was unlocked. So he got in the vehicle and drove it, I don't know, several blocks or whatever, parked it there and was found short time later, and he admitted that he did that. So he has only prior he has is from 2003 firearms possession while he was under the influence.
okay, the court will set bond at $10,000 personal. Mr. White, that means that you don't have to post any money, but be sure to make your next court date as it relates to conditions of bond. Sir, you are not to drive without a valid license.
That's understood.
You understand that?
Yes.
Write it down.
Oh, okay. One moment. Okay, Mr. White, do you have any questions regarding your court date or your bond condition?
The court date was the 29th and the February 5th, correct?
Yes, correct. Good. Okay. How about from the people? Anything further, Mr. Ragnar?
No.
Just I apologize.
Okay. All right, Mr. White, thank you, sir. We're done and you can step aside.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What's your name, sir?
How you doing, ma'am? I'm Devin Spivey.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Spivey, this is Magistrate H. Fair, sir. You're here on a criminal matter. Case number is 250-553-9301, sir. You have an attorney?
Justice Schreiber, on behalf of Mr. Spivey, who has formal reading and understands the constitutional rights and standards.
Thank you. I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty. Court dates are January 29, 2025, probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, February 5th, 2025. Both matters are in front of Judge Robbins. Okay, Mr. Spivey, let me tell you some bond conditions. One, you're not to possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. And two, you're not to possess or drink, buy or sell, possess any alcoholic beverages. You understand those bond conditions, sir?
Yes, you said don't drink? Okay, yes,
Not
ma'am.
drinking. You can't possess them, you can't buy them. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Council Coyle?
No objection, Your Honor, to a personal bond in this matter. It's non-assaultive.
Thank you. That being said, recommendation is personal bond, sir. You're gonna get a $10,000 personal bond. Nobody has to pay money for you to get out of jail. Do you understand that?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. That concludes your arraignment. You can step aside.
Yes.
Well. This is you, and this one you should ask the clerk if they called. But this one says. She said that. You don't ask. So it's on the record. Mm-mm, you don't touch them. You don't touch them at all. You don't need to. It's communicate this is from him, Judge Bryant and Judge Garrett. Judge Jones. Yes. Okay. This one. BDC. Well, it could be that this is not added. Let's see who this is. Let's try again. I have this here because sometimes it could be inappropriate, so. This person, Elias, okay, no, there's no. Elias.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just trying to see if Kara or Kara is being arraigned. My apologies. Female. You have any females that are going to be arraigned?
Yes, what's the last name?
It is. Oh, you're right. No, my apologies, but I should know it because here it is. Kara Robinson.
No Robinson, sir.
Okay, I'll check tomorrow morning. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking me. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Take care. DDC. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, you can't touch it. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Pauline. Please.
Ask me his name.
Sir, would you state your name, please?
Make sure that's on that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. We're here. Look.
Okay. Thank you, officer.
Yeah.
Sir.
We didn't have any more, so she went over to the female side.
Wait a minute.
We have one more person though.
Do you have a John Graham?
John Graham? Yeah. Do we have that record? She's about to go check right now.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. You never know.
Good thing I would have started reading this case.
Yep. It's not the first time, so. Many times I've done this. Okay, after that. We got Harding. Who's the other one?
Other lady.
Um,
Jade.
Stevens. We're gonna check. So Jay is a female. There is no. Okay. You can either do this before, you can do that after. The traffic, yes. Yep. No. Council Shive?
Yes, Your Honor.
At some point, it's gonna be Magistrate Shive. Okay, but at this point, council, have both females been interviewed?
They have, Your
Okay.
And just so the court is aware, they do find Mr. Graham with the interview him. There is a habeas with Smith Jefferson, so I don't.
I know, we have a note on the file, and we'll put that on the record. Male side. Everything okay? Okay, so I'm on the record. Okay, I'll talk to you in a little bit, as long as everything's okay. Okay, thank you, Chair. Bye. Jade or Jade. If they tell us this person's not at DDC, then I put down not at DDC. And I put it on the top of the file, but we don't know if they tell us. Because right now they're looking for to see whether John Graham is at DDC. And that's the one you highlighted, so that's yours. Stevens is yours also. Make sure nobody's over at the female side. Sometimes DDC may not respond, or sometimes I don't hear what DDC says. It can be a misunderstanding on both sides, and then they're on the other side. I don't see any thought here. Nobody's appearing. We'll see who does. Nobody appears at here. I want to make sure that we have that one. So we finish up with that file. The other one. We may have new employees also that may be taken also. Training, don't know. You here tomorrow? Okay. Because I was like, you can do your stuff tomorrow. Your question. Yeah, so don't worry.
Man, how are you? You can come on. You can sit right here.
EDC,
Yes, Your Honor.
do we have
Yes, Your
John
Honor.
Graham at EDC or not?
Yes, I believe he's on the male side, you're on the female side now, but we're going to get him, he was in the 15 minutes.
All right. Well, I don't see him right now, so let your coworker know. We're gonna do the females first and then finish up with
Yes.
Mr. Graham.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what's your name?
Keisha Harding.
Ms. Harding, Magistrate in charge there. Is it Tanisha, Benita, or Marita Harding?
Okay.
Is that a yes, ma'am?
Okay, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm Magistrate in charge there. You're here on a criminal matter, case number 250-4422-301, ma'am. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Jessica Shive on behalf of Ms. Harding, who is from reading understands her constitutional rights and stands for you.
Thank you. I'm gonna enter plea of not guilty. Court date is January 31st, 2025. Pre-trial in front of Judge Austin Garrett. Ms. Harding, let me tell you some